Fuel panel. Left, right, 1, 2, push button switch. On. Pump is on. Off. Pump is off. Fault light. The amber light and the ECAM caution come on when the delivery pressure drops. It is inhibited when off is selected. Left, right, standby push button switch. On. Standby pump runs when associated main pump is failed or off. Off. The pump is off. Fault light. The amber light and the ECAM caution come on when the delivered pressure drops. It is inhibited when off is selected or the main pump is running. Trim tank mode push button switch. Auto. The FCMC controls the CG. Forward. Initiates a manual forward transfer to the inner tanks by opening 1. The trim tank isolation valve, 2. The auxiliary forward transfer valve, 3. The trim pipe isolation valve, 4. The inner inlet valves, and by closing 1. The aft transfer valves, and by operating the trim tank forward transfer pump. Inner tank overflow must be manually prevented. Fault light. The amber light and the ECAM caution come on when 1. The FMGS detects an excess aft CG based on the THS position, independent of fuel quantity. Or 2. The FCMC is unable to carry out the forward transfer. 3. The fuel low temperature warning is triggered. Trim tank feed selector. Auto. Stops the forward transfer when the trim tank is at low level to maintain the transfer line full. Isol. The transfer line is isolated as the following valves close. 1. Trim tank isolation valve. 2. Trim tank inlet valve. 3. Auxiliary forward transfer valve. 4. Trim pipe isolation valve. The trim tank forward transfer pump stops. Open. The valves used during a manual forward transfer and the trim tank inlet valve open. The valves remain open until 3 minutes after the trim tank is low to allow drainage of the transfer pipe. Note: APU supply is not possible when the pipe is drained. Outer tank transfer. Auto. The FCMC controls the outer to inner tank transfer. On. Initiates the outer inner tank transfer by opening 1. The outer transfer valves. 2. The outer inlet valves. 3. The inner inlet valves. Aft transfer is inhibited.